Hello friends. This is fact. In this video, I will explain one content of the Great Awakening map. And I hope you will accompany me to the end of this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. And please share my content with your friends. Anunnaki. When you think of ancient civilizations, you may think of Persians, Romans, and Egyptians, you may think of the Maya, but few people think of the Sumerians. Ancient Sumer in Mesopotamia was a collection of states. The Sumerians had an advanced system, the science of mathematics, and writing. They were among the first groups to break down time into hours and minutes. Archaeologists have unearthed tens of thousands of ancient Babylonian pottery tablets. The collection was so extensive that research and translations related to it continue to this day. The Sumerian gods were the Anunnaki. Were believed the Anunnaki to be responsible for Sumerian people fate. The Sumerians had the gods of heaven and earth. They began worshipping the Anunnaki 2500 BC. One theory is that the Anunnaki came to Earth from another planet. Some believe that they came from the mysterious planet X, also known as Nibiru. Some say the Anunnaki were a species of reptilians. Of course, this is only a theory. But what is close to reality is that the Anunnaki are a kind of human race and believe in a god who is called the creator of all things. But why did they come to Earth and claim to be gods? Proponents of this theory say that the Anunnaki forced the Sumerians to mine gold for them. Think for a moment about why ancient cultures valued gold. The Egyptians adorned their pyramids with gold and buried their kings with gold. The Egyptians believed that the skin of their gods was made of gold. Gold is a useful mineral in contemporary society. Gold is vital in electronics because it transmits electricity well. Despite this technical feature, more than 78% of gold goes to the jewelry industry. It is also a valuable metal in terms of financial investment. But why did the ancient people use gold as ornaments? This may explain why the ancient people did not know about the electrical properties of gold. And its use as ornaments has been the only symbol to express the value of gold to their gods. Did Anunnaki tell them that gold is very valuable? Did the gods of the sky need this metal to power their technology? Let me tell you a simple story. The Anunnaki were the ones who came to Earth from heaven. Thousands of years ago, a race with much more advanced technology than even humans now, came to Earth from the 10th planet, Nibiru, which has an elongated elliptical orbit and enters the solar system every 3,600 years in reverse rotation. Scientifically, they have a very long life due to the long orbit of their planet around the Sun. The planet Nibiru is said to be red and there are volcanoes in the form of a belt on this planet and these volcanoes help to form their atmosphere. The existing atmosphere protects the planet from the Sun's scorching rays as it approaches the warm period. Their atmosphere restrains and releases rain, creating streams and lakes that preserve all life and lush vegetation. Some people live in the valleys and some in the mountains. They also formed tribes in the first place with the expansion of the population, then the two great nations faced each other. The nation of the north versus the nation of the south. Long wars broke out and they suffered heavy casualties and destruction in the north and south. Then a ceasefire was reached. They needed a king for Nibiru to rule over all to unite. They chose a leader from the north and the south by lot and decided that if he was from the north, he should choose a woman as his wife and as a queen from the south, and if he was from the south, vice versa, and their first child would succeed him. The first king after the peace was from the north. His royal title was Anu, and the royal title of his wife was Antu, which means the person who is a new spouse. Things happened that made Nibiru colder during the cold season and warmer during the warm season. They discovered that the atmosphere was broken, like a hole in our ozone layer. Volcanoes that fed and repaired the atmosphere were unable to do so, leaving many women infertile and unable to bear children. The council proposed two solutions and tried to improve the atmosphere. One was to use nuclear missiles and the other was to use a metal to repair the atmosphere. Gold was the best material and the only thing that improved this problem. How the Anunnaki got to Earth and how they became aware of the existence of gold on Earth is a long story. But the first Anunnaki to come to Earth was Alulu, and he sent the report of the discovery of gold to Nibiru. Anu sent Enki to Earth for confirmation. Enki was the son of Anu and the leader of the Anunnaki. After a while, Enki's brother Enlil was sent to the ground to command. The Anunnaki first settled in the Gulf of Aden and began to extract resources, but over time they searched other areas and settled elsewhere. They first used the Anunnaki forces to mine the resources, but a few problems led them to create a race to help them and work in the mines. The following reasons can be mentioned. Low labor force in mines for extraction. The difference between their body's biological clock and the Earth's circadian clock. Fatigue and boredom of the Anunnaki forces from working in the mines. And also time. Because they wanted gold forever, not for a short time. Enki proposed to the council the creation of creatures and races to work in the mines. Some scholars consider the Anunnaki to be technically unique, but emotionally very immature. The problems they have created on Earth did not have a good outcome. In other words, the horrific events that took place on Earth were a direct result of the way they lived and how they comported themselves in their interactions with others. One of their worst deeds was that whenever they created chaos, they changed destiny and killed the different races they had created. They created a whole variety of races, and after they saw that the breed was not perfect or did not have the intended use, they either killed them or abandoned them. Researchers and theorists say that Enki, one of the leaders and scientists of Anunnaki, had sex with two earthly women after the creation of Adam and Eve. Women gave birth to children. A woman and a man. Enki's children with earthly women were more intelligent. Researchers and theorists believe that Enki conceived these two women on Earth for selfish reasons. He probably believed that he had not succeeded in creating a pure terrestrial human species. So he had sex with two terrestrial women to improve the human bloodline, and children were born. He then claimed that the children were from an earthly man and a woman. Later he confessed his betrayal to his brother. Enki's brother, Enlil, the commander of the earth, was angry at this and wanted to kill his brother, but he could not. They were the first humans, but with some direct Anunnaki blood in their parents. After the creation of earthly humans, 200 Anunnaki men, known as Igigi, came to Earth. The Igigi are the gods of paradise in Mesopotamian mythology. Although the name Igigi is synonymous with the term Anunnaki, but in another narrative the Igigi are the younger gods who served to the Anunnaki until they rebelled and were replaced by humans. They had heard from the women of the earth and decided to go to bed with the women of the earth. Their children with earthly women were the giants or Nephilim. As you can see, the earth was a corrupted genetic pool. There are legends and documents that the Anunnaki and the first humans were black. It is also mentioned that the lifespan of terrestrial humans has changed several times, the last of which is 120 Earth years. This change in life may be related to genetic manipulation. Enki has done a lot of experiments. He created many humans and animals. He may have created creatures such as unicorns, mermaids, Pegasus and minotaurs. When the Anunnaki left, Enki was on Earth from beginning to end. At his command, the whole story of his time was drawn on 14 tablets. But in these tablets he does not mention the Igigi and giants or Nephilim, or the fallen angels. Perhaps the truth is that Enki was the one who should have been mentioned as a fallen angel. The Book of Enoch calls him Satan. The flood was a way to destroy the giants and humans who had made a lot of noise. Some scholars and theorists refer to Noah's flood as this flood. The Anunnaki returned to Earth after the flood and began rebuilding, collecting more gold for the atmosphere in Nibiru. But over time, Marduk, the son of Enki, gave rise to some false gods and religions that led to wars, corruption, and misguidance. In the end, they were forced to use nuclear weapons to destroy much of the Middle East to end the affair. Of course, researchers also mention ancient nuclear battles in other parts of the world. But there is a lot of talk about their return, and their representatives are said to be preparing the ground for their return. Please watch my other videos on my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and share my content with your friends. Thank you for your support.